Never rest on past success. Create something better. A quote by Ron Kaufman. Hey, it's your girl Rainey from Blessings and Gems. And today we're going to be talking about living with intention and how to create purposeful goals. So let's jump right in. Gem number one, and there'll be three that we'll be talking about today, has to do with you identifying your personal themes for the year. This is where you should have taken time to think about the focus areas that you want to really spend time on or in this year to help propel the things that you want to see happen. Now, if you haven't done that, don't worry about it. We can give you a resource at the end to help you do it, but it's important to definitely go back and do so. An example of personal themes could be that you want to develop your spiritual life more fully. Or another example could be that you want to deepen your relationships with your children. So those are example of themes, and it's important to consider those. Let's jump right into gem number two as we go down the path of how to live with intention and create more powerful or purposeful goals. Gem number two is to ask yourself, what actions will you take this year to fuel your personal themes? So those themes are your overarching focus areas, as I mentioned, but your goals, gem number two, has to do with the actions that you're going to take in order to fuel those themes. You know, James Clear says that our outcomes are lagging measures of our habits. You get what you repeat. And so it's so important to really think about behaviors or habits or tasks or activities that you need to start doing, but also some of the things that you need to start doing, because those things will either propel your efforts this year and fuel those things that I talked about, or they will sabotage them. My friends, this gem around the actions that you're going to take really has to do with what. What are you going to do in order to live out and to achieve the themes that you talked about? And so it's important to write down some of the things that you will do. And I find that we sometimes discredit what happened the year before. And there's probably things that you've already done or have been doing in 2023 that you can continue on with. You know, the things that we're doing have a compounding effect. A compounding effect is the repeated actions that impact growth or results in deterioration of what you'd like to see happen. Our habits and behaviors can either have a negative compounding effect or a positive compounding effect. Most outcomes in our life happen incrementally. They don't happen overnight, most of them. And so once again, it's important to think about the things that you're doing, because you may find as the year progresses, it's January, everyone's feeling good, everyone's pumped up, we've got our planners, woo hoo hoo hoo, right? But as the year goes on and time goes by, we may feel a little dispirited, we may lag a little bit, or we may get off course. I really want you to think about those things that you're doing well, write them down and be able to point to them, because it's all of those things that you're doing day to day that really are stored up and that really tie into the goals that you want to achieve. So I don't know if you knew this, but ice begins to melt when it's heated from 25 to 31 degrees. The outcomes begin to happen at 32 degrees. And the same is going to be true for you, where you're going to be doing things daily and you don't necessarily see results. And it'll be at that 32-degree mark where things just start to water and things start to happen. And you can really begin to see some growth. So my friends, you've got this. If you like what you're hearing and you like the gems that we talked about thus far, hey, hit the subscribe button, become a member of our community, and also hit the notification button so that you're aware of the next video that we will drop. With that, we move right into gem number three. And gem number three is to set PACT goals. P-A-C-T. You know, most of the goal setting strategies that I've learned, and probably those that you've been exposed to, focus on outcomes, focus on results. And earlier in this video was kind of a setup. I've been using the word outcomes, but we're going to shift our mindset this year. And I really want you to think about outputs, all the things that you do day to day in the aim of achieving your goals. And so what outputs are just that. They're the things that you're doing. It's the habits, it's the activities, it's the tasks, it's the behaviors that you do every day along the way in the aim of achieving your goals, and outcomes are actually the results. And oftentimes we're so focused on the goals, the results, the finish line, that we forget that there's a race and that there are things that we do need to do in order to achieve those goals. And we're not going to achieve those goals if we don't make adjustments to those outputs, those activities, those things that we're doing every day. So what does the acronym PACT stand for? Let's break it down. The P in PACT stands for purposeful goals. And so these are goals that are meaningful to the themes in your life, or the things that you said you wanted to accomplish as we're talking about this particular year. Actionable goals, as it relates to PACT, are the habits and the behaviors and activities that you're doing that are within your control or that are in your reach. And it's a mindset that says these are the concrete steps that I take every day. The C in PACT stands for continuous, and it stands for the actions that are simple and replicatable. And so when thinking about 2023, sometimes we want to, again, throw out the whole year and go, the whole year was a hot mess. And we don't want to repeat some of those things. But did you know that there are also things that you did pretty well last year? It's important to go back and identify those things, because it will give you movement in this area, in continuity, and this continuous effort in doing things to continue that approach that was serving you. And again, we're only talking about those things that you did last year that were serving you, that helped you achieve your desired outcomes. But it is also recognizing that this is an ever evolving journey, and that I'm not perfect, and that I may need to make some changes, but I'm going to start somewhere. And could it be that there are things that I did last year, or if I really don't have anything, nothing comes to mind, then it means that maybe I try one or two things, but I don't get analysis paralysis before I start moving. It means that I'm in movement, and that I start with something simple that I can do, that's actionable and continuous. The T in PACT, or setting PACT goals, has to do with goals that are not necessarily measurable. They're just factual. These are things or activities or actions that you did and that were actually done, right? And so it's the mindset that I can actually see my progress along in my journey. It's something that you can point to. And so it's really important to have things that we can point to fuel our journey. And so goals should be nearby. Goals should be within your reach. Goals should be written down, is what most experts say. I agree with that. However, I do know, because we're busy, that we can't carry our journals around everywhere, right? We can't carry our notebooks around, and maybe these fancy schmancy, tools that we bought over Christmas or were given to us over the holiday, right? And so sometimes it means getting a little bit crafty. It may mean that you need to simply open your phone and use the voice feature to actually speak into your phone your themes and the goals around those themes for the year. It may mean that you have quotes or pictures or inspirations that you have in your wallet or in your purse or in your man purse that you can reach into and grab and go, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. We talked about in a prior video having your own North Star, because life is going to happen and you might get off track. You probably will get off track. We all get off track. I've gotten off track. But one of the things that I have in my possession is, not only do I typically have my journal with me, I also have nearby things that I can point to and go, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be focused on. But in any event, the Bible says that wisely setting goals leads to better results, and that the plans of the diligent lead to profit. I want you to be profitable in every area of your life. You want to be profitable. I know you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. And so it's important that we go through and adopt these 3 gems in the aim of having goals that are intention filled. So let's recap. Gem number 1 was identifying your personal themes for the year. And remember, we said that you shouldn't have more than 3. Gem number 2 was asking yourself, what actions will you take to fuel those personal themes? And lastly, we just went over the importance of setting P.A.C.T goals, goals that focus on outputs, not outcomes. Well, my friend, I'm so glad you spent time with us today. Thanks for being here. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Please become a member of our community. Hit the notification button so that you are aware of the next video that we're going to be dropping in the near future. It was my pleasure to serve you. Have a beautiful and blessed day. And we look forward to serving you in the near future.